All right, good morning, everyone. Let's get started with today's class. But I want to start first with some housekeeping work that everybody must know and um, must organize your stuff because you're getting bigger. There's going to be a lot. And if you're not organized, you're going to lose track. You won't be able to function properly. Now, whenever you open up any kind of browser, this is called Google Chrome browser or just Chrome browser. You may have Internet Explorer and so forth. It doesn't really matter what you use. I would recommend have Google Chrome. If not, download it. It's free. You can go up here if you don't have it and type in download Chrome. And click on the very first one if you want to, or doesn't really matter, or this one. And you're going to see something like this. Browser built by Google. And you click on this download Chrome and follow the system. It's going to probably put that downloaded. You'll see it in this tray. This is called tray. Anything you download will store in this tray. Yours may be up here sometimes. Okay. And you'll be able to see something got downloaded. Once that gets downloaded, you have to click on it. You just downloaded the software, it did not install until you click on it. And then it will start installing. Once it starts installing, sometimes it's going to uh, give you a window. And in that window, you may have this next button or finish button or back button. What it's doing is now it's ready to install. This is called an installation wizard. Installation wizard. Okay. And in this wizard, it's going to walk you through some settings before it gets installed. It might have some checkboxes and ask you to put some checks on them. It might have some location where you want that program file to be and ask you to change the location, or just keep hitting next, 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 and then finish it off, submit, then you have it. After you install this, it might ask you to restart your computer. If it doesn't ask you, but you're not finding it anywhere, you should go ahead and restart your computer because most installations require a restart. So don't panic, you do that. The other thing is, suppose you clicked on installation, and I'm not talking about this Google installation only. I'm talking about any installation you do going forward. Use the same intelligence. That if you click on Google Chrome and you don't see anything here or anything here, and you're like, I don't think it downloaded. I'm going to go click it again. Don't do that. What happens is, even if you don't see the file, it's there. It's downloading. And where to find it? Over here. Everybody has an icon on your taskbar. Generally right here. Looks like a file folder. It's yellow color. This is called File Explorer. What that means is all your files, all the stuff that's stored in your computer is stored over there, including all program files that run your computer. There is no secret place anymore. It's all in there. Your pictures are gonna be in there. Your documents are gonna be in there. So all are somehow somewhere organized in that, and you can access it through that. So when you open that up, you're gonna see something like this. Excuse me, like that. Hmm. In here, on the left side, what they did is they put some shortcut for you. What they're thinking is, and this is called quick access. Windows is thinking, you might need this more rapidly, so I'm gonna make your life easy. I'm gonna bring it over here. You may or may not use it. But one thing you're gonna notice, they have a folder called downloads. Soon as I hit this download button, it's gonna go right there. Watch this. I'm gonna double click on this download so it opens up right here. The entire folder is gonna open up and display what's in there in this folder, this window. So this is where what's in it is going to get displayed. Right now it's just hodgepodge of everything in there. Right? But if I click on download is going to open up here and show you what's inside the download folder. So let's do that. If I click on downloads, notice it opened up here, and I can do a few things. I can enlarge it. I can press Control Plus and it gets bigger. I can display it the way I want to. Some of these things I need to delete. Yeah. You can also click on this view icon to say I want to view it differently. There's some options in here in this view. You can say I want to see them extra large. This is when you have pictures, you want to display them extra large. Or you just want to say I want to do maybe like a medium. Sometimes you might need to check this one called details. What this does is it gives you some extra information about the file. Obviously, the file name is right here. Oopsie. Not letting me write on it. There. Why is that? Yeah. There's your file name. The date modified, what type of file it is, and how big the file it is. Notice I have these pretty big files right here. You can sort them. You can sort them by date. Why would you want to sort them? Well, there could be a scenario where you're like, well, last night I downloaded something and I don't know which one it is. Well, you can click on date modify, it will sort it for you. And if I sort it, I can see time right here, 10:27. This is the last thing I downloaded. And it looks like it's just these website that I downloaded. So you can easily, if there's like 100 things in there, you can sort it to easily find something. Okay. Now watch this. If I download this, it's gonna show up here. Also, it's showing up right here. Notice that in the tray, if you don't have it, I have it. Showing up. These files are with extension exe. Exe means executable, meaning you can do something with it. So if you click on it, it's going to open up the wizard. But this file is also stored right here. Just got downloaded. Look at the date, today's date and time. So either I click here or I can double click that. It will do the same thing. It will open up a window asks you to do something. Let's see. I already have Google Chrome. So suppose I double click it here. It's asking for my permission. I say yes. And then there's this installation wizard. I'm going to exit out since I already have it, so I don't want to waste your time. Let me X this out. Cancel installation. Yes. Close. All right. Any questions so far? Okay. The next thing is, hmm, what is Google Chrome and how do I manage this? Whenever I say address bar, that's the only thing I mean and nothing else. Where you're going to type in the address of where you want to go, like even www.automationlessons.com. This address bar does not take any space, and it has to be exact. If you spell one letter short of what it should be, it's not going to take you there. And you need to type in that www. I know in some computers you don't have to, but if you don't, with my address, the automation lessons, without that www, it's going to take you somewhere else. You won't go there. So I'm going to just type in right now Google in there. Let's see what happens. I didn't type www because I noticed that mine works without the www, but yours may not. So use the www. And when I go to Google, I have the very first thing you need to check is, are you signed in here? If it's your husband or wife using the same laptop and they by any chance signed in with their ID and you come here trying to go to my class by typing in automation lessons, it's not going to take you there because he or she is not in my class. So you won't be able to see anything show up at all. So if that's the case, what you do, you come here and make sure that you're logged in or not. If not, you click on that icon and you'll see something like this. In fact, there's two people in this computer. I have myself and then I have my wife in here, and I can switch between either one. But safest bet is sign everybody out. So I sign her out and then you sign back in. Okay. All right. The next thing is address bar. This is your, bookmark bar. This is your bookmark bar. This is where you want to save your important stuff. All your important stuff, including your personal stuff. You do online banking these days. You should have a folder with your personal stuff in it. I have one, personal finances. I put all my bank URL and passwords and everything all saved in here so I can do one click and go to wherever I want to go. My electricity bill company, put that there, link and a password so I can go there. Um, there's more personal stuff. I have another folder for that. There's this Purification Enterprise. That's the company that I operate this training business on. So I have that link right there. Let me show you how you do that. How do you manage that? Learn this, practice this. So The very first time you open up a Chrome, you may not have anything in here. Nothing, right? Let's say I want to go to Yahoo. Hmm. If I go to Yahoo, you're going to notice something here that there's a star icon on this address bar, and this star icon is empty, not solidified. It's not solid. But if I do type in Google, you will see that star is solid. At least I hope so. Yeah. Notice this star is now solid. What that solid tells me is that I have already saved this page or this website address somewhere in here. I can't find it right now. I don't know where it is, but somewhere in there. Hmm. If I type in www.automationlessons.com, you will notice that also Google is smart enough and they know that, oh, you've been on this site before. So as you're typing in, it's going to fill in the blanks for you. And if that looks accurate, you can just hit enter at that moment and you have it here. Look, it's not saved anywhere. The icon um is empty. Yeah, it's empty. Sorry, that one. Excuse me. It's empty. So I can bookmark it. So easiest way to do it, you just click on that icon. Right? If I click on it, it's going to open up this window. Oops, I didn't want to do that. I can't use my pen tool for this. So it opens up this window and it's saying, where do you want to save it? If you don't have folders like this, then what's going to do, it's going to bring that name somewhere on this bar. But if you have folders already, then it's going to ask you, hey, do you want to put it in a specific folder? Mine by default came to Purification Enterprise. I can drop it down and say, no, I want to put it in real estate folder, or I want to put it in personal finances folder. Now, if I don't see the folder I wanted to put it into, like let's say I want to put it into jobs, all right? Um, here's the jobs folder. So suppose I go into a website, I find a website called monster.com. And in monster.com, suppose I go in and say I want to find jobs for QA, automation engineer, or test automation engineer, and I put in the location Dallas, Texas, and then hit a search button. And I see this bunch of jobs right here showed up on my left side. Mhm. Yeah, I need that. So I'm like, okay, I want to QA test engineer right here. This is in Irving. I want to keep this search on my, I don't have to, so that I don't have to come back here all the time. I want to save this search. What are you going to do? Well, you click on this star icon. This star icon is going to bring down this panel for you. In this panel, it's asking you, do you want to save it? Where do you want to save it? Well, I click drop down right here, folder. I don't see jobs folder here. And I don't want to see this huge name that says monster job, blah, 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 blah. What I do is I take that down, I delete it, and I say Dallas automation jobs. Automation jobs. And in this folder, I don't see the folder. So there's a button called More. I can click on this button More. And now it's going to show me all the folders that's there. And I find my folder called Jobs. I click on that folder and click on Save. And now that got saved in this job folder. If I open this folder, I see it right there, Dallas automation jobs. And if tomorrow I go away from here, I can go to my jobs, click it, and click on Dallas automation jobs. And then it's going to take me straight to that search again that has all these jobs posted. Any questions? All right. Shanjida, I'm gonna get into your computer right now, so please accept it. And I'm gonna set up a few things there, and you guys watch and learn and do it for yourself as well.
It's accepted.
I did ask for permission to modify. Did you allow?
I forget. I just did quickly. So I think one of them I didn't do it. Can you please do it again?
Yes. It's gonna ask you for your permission to so that I can get into your computer. All right, here we go. See if there's something come up that says allow
Yes.
keyboard
Yes,
and mouse access.
yes, I did.
Okay, now I have access. All right, so first thing, there's a problem here. I don't even see a bookmark bar. And you might have that problem that you don't have a bookmark bar. In that case, there's this 3-dot icon right here. And
This one?
are you using Chrome? Yes. So
Yes.
I'm going to click on this bookmark 3-dot icon, and this is what's going to drop down with a menu that I can do a lot of other things. One of the things you're going to see called bookmarks. Soon as I hover on it, it gives me another window with options. One of the options here called Show Bookmark Bar. You should always have that open. If it doesn't show you, then click on it, and now you have this bookmark bar, which there's nothing, not much there. There's two items there. One is called New Tab, and the other is called Go To. Really, those are, um, she may have actually had the meeting Go To as a bookmark right here, which is fine. What I would do to organize this, I'm going to add a folder right here. So to add a brand new folder, you can right click on the bookmark bar. And this window opens up. And you can click on Bookmark Manager. It's going to take you there. Or you can click on this 3-dot icon and then go to Bookmark and then click on Bookmark Manager, whichever works for you. I like it. Right click here and go to Bookmark Manager. It's faster. When I'm in Bookmark Manager, it shows me that I got these two bookmark websites already there. Well, this go to takes takes you directly to that class. That doesn't make any sense. I want to name it properly. I want to say edit. So by clicking on this three-dot icon, I can open up this menu and click on edit. And instead of saying go to, let's call it online class. If I save it, now it's called online class. This new tab doesn't make any sense. I don't need it. So we're going to delete this one. Delete it. But I wanted to organize more. I wanted to have a folder. This is not a folder. This is just a location where you want to go to. And you can click on this three dot on the top right corner. And it's going to give you an option to add a new folder. I can add a new folder and call it automation lessons. We're in this folder now. Just as soon as I hit the save button, keep your eyes on this bar right here and see that there's going to be a folder created right next to it. Watch this. You see there? Automation folder. And I have this automation online class. Well, that all of this important stuff should go into this automation lesson. So you can just click on it, drag and drop it on top of that automation. And now if I click on this automation lessons, it's going to show me the online class. Okay. What if I wanted to add more to this? Then I can go up there and say www.automationlessons.com. Spelled it wrong. There. And I want to bookmark this one. Well, no problem. You click on the star icon. Now it's going to tell you, hey, I see a folder. You only have one folder if I drop it down right there, automation lessons. You want to put it there and it's called Stein Peer Review? No, I don't want to name it Stein Peer Review. That doesn't make any sense. We're going to just call that automation course. Automation course. And lessons. Yeah, just to keep it separate. And then if I hit the button done, now this site is also stored right here. I got this online class, it's automation lessons, and you're like, there's another place I go to, and that's the classroom. So what you can do is you can go to Google Classroom. You're like, I want to store that one too. So I can go in one click. You go to this three dots, you click on Classroom. There's your classroom, and you hit the save bookmark again. Window opens up. Confirm that you want to be in that folder and change the name to classwork. Better yet, she could click right here and go here and then save that location and say classroom and homework and then hit done. Now she has three things in here. One just came in automatically, I think, or I didn't finish it. I'll delete that. You can right click and delete. Online class, the course, and the classroom and homework submission spot for her. Okay. One other thing you want to do is what if you wanted to have all of these every time you open up Google Chrome, you want this to show up, to open up. You should do that. I always have it like that. Just the moment I open up Google Chrome, I don't even have to open this and go here. 3 tabs open up, display all of those for me really fast. So how are you going to do that? Well, for you to do that, first, you have to bring in all these 3 sites in these 3 tabs. You have to make sure they look the way you want it. So I will go here. Suppose she wants that email too, so I'll leave that email. And then I will have this online, the course. Second tab, I want to have the online class link. And the third tab, we want this classroom, homework and stuff. Imagine that every time she opens up Google Chrome, immediately 3 tabs open up to where she needs to go. You can do that. How you do that? You click on this 3-dot icon, open that up, and you go to settings. In your settings, shortcut, you can type in right here a word called startup, meaning how do you want your Chrome to start? If you say startup or just type in the start, you will see this highlighted right here. On startup. It's asking you, what do you want on startup? Right now, a radio button selected called open the new tab page or continue where you left off or open a specific page or set of pages. That's what we want. We want specific pages. Now, if I click on this, it opens up like this. It gives me 2 options. It says add a new page to what you got or use current pages. If I select use current pages, that means it's going to take all of this email, course, login icon, and then classroom, all of this as one. And that's what you want. Use current pages. So if I select that, it confirms with me that you got this 4 things open. And that's what's going to come back here. All right, that's it. That's all you got to do. Now, if I close this Chrome browser and I reopen it, by the way, I don't see her Chrome icon on this taskbar in the bottom, which she should.
It's here on the left side.
Yeah, so what I'll do is I will double click here and make sure it's down there. And notice it's asking which login you want to go into. So that's very important because if you go into someone else's login, it's not going to work for you. So set up your browser in a few steps. You don't really need to do that. But notice what happened is all 4 pages immediately showed up. He doesn't even have to type the web address. Now it's automatically going to show up. And you can add more by going to that settings and customize it your way. I am going to pin this to her taskbar. Taskbar is the fastest way to get there. So you want to clean this up. There's a lot of things in your taskbar that you don't use on a regular basis. More you have here, more it's going to distract you. So I know that we're going to be using Chrome. I'm going to right click on this. And that's the operation is not letting me do it as a remote. Shanjida, you go ahead and take the mouse and right click on that icon.
New window.
No, right here
Okay.
on that taskbar. Just right click on it and click on pin to taskbar. You guys can't see it. I can't see it either. Those are some systems things. And now if I close this, the Chrome icon is going to stick right there and it's going to stay there. Now if I click open again, same thing. I got those 4 tabs I wanted to, and now it opens up. Any questions on this? That's all, guys, for this.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So let me take over from this side. Take the time today to organize your browser. Um, be more like that. And so you can perform your task faster. All right, guys. Today's lesson is on command line interface. And the command line interface is heavily used by the developers. Everything that you do um, using the user interface can be done through command line. I'm only going to show you a few things today and a few more things later down the road. All you need to know is just a handful of stuff to get your work done. You don't have to be a genius on this. So what is today's objective? You are going to learn about File Explorer, which I already gave you a rundown on, so I'm going to skip that slide. You're going to learn what is command line, what is PowerShell, how to use that, and what is Git. Now, Git is something that I'm going to briefly explain, but you're going to be hands-on working on this when you go to Selenium class. So more on that will be later. Now, on this command line, let me just pass through this couple of things I have here that I don't really need to do this because we talked about it. So let's start with the definition of what is a interface. What does that word mean? Interface. Interface. I want you to think of interface is like a face, like our face. It's somewhere where you start communication through. In our face is where we have our mouth and eyes and we talk and we see and we can hear. This is where the information actually passes through and then gets to our brain and then body and so forth. So that interface comes from that. It's the communication is a point. So it's a point where two systems, in this case, subjects or organizations, meet and interact. So you got this high-tech stuff right here, all right? And this high-tech stuff means nothing if human cannot interact with it. So what we got is we have this human. Now the human cannot interact with this machine because it's so complicated. There's electrical pulses going through these little tiny things that you see. So there has to be a way, like a medium of a human trying to understand what that is. And that's where this comes called the interface. Okay. So the interface is a easy way to communicate with machine. A human can understand this and machine can understand human actions. So there is a binding going on between this complicated stuff to make it easy that human can understand. Anytime you have a point where you can communicate with the machine, it's called an interface. Any question about that? All right, then our next thing comes in the picture is um, what is then GUI? Who can tell me what that stands for?
Graphical user interface.
That's correct. So it's a graphical user interface that looks like this. The screen that you're looking at right now is graphical user interface. The phone, when you go into you open up your phone, everything you see on your phone is a graphical user interface or GUI. It's called graphical because it has like graph-like stuff. It has these tiles. Really not a graph that you would think with an x-axis and y-axis, and that's a graph. No, that's not what they mean. They mean that there's visuals. The graphical means visuals. So anything that has beautiful visual like this one is your graphical user interface or GUI, and a lot of people like to call it GUI. I might just refer it to GUI. Every time I say GUI, that's this. That's the beautiful stuff, beautiful interface that we see. Okay? Next is what we call a command line interface. In short, it could be referred to as CLI. You might hear that a lot, in short. So what is a command line interface? So it is an interface, but it doesn't look anything like the beautiful, colorful stuff we saw. And yeah, you cannot click on it. The only thing you can do is type on it. That's why it's called a text-based user interface for operating system. So with this window, you are communicating as well with your operating system, except now you're not clicking buttons and seeing things in colors. You are actually going to have to type it in with some commands to make it happen. Everything that you have done on your computer so far can be done through this window where you type in and tell what the computer to do. The difference is you and I don't know how to do this. But the developers do know how to do this because they work with this all the time. Then you're asking, why do developers need to use this? Why can't they just use the beautiful, colorful buttons to go and navigate here or open up this site or do whatever they need to do? Well, back in the 1980s, this is all we had to communicate with your operating system. There wasn't Microsoft uh, Windows with this beautiful visual. There wasn't. So this form has still been there and still there is today. What Microsoft did is Microsoft took those commands, whatever command you were going to type here to make it happen, Microsoft created beautiful visual apps and things. And when you click on that, it actually does this command in the CLI, and then it goes inside your computer. Okay. So everything you do are still going through this command line option, and then your computer is doing it. So it's slower. It's slower because it has to go through one extra layer of this command line. Then your computer does the stuff. So the developers don't like this UI. That's why they're like, they need to download stuff. They need to run stuff. And if they use this graphical or GUI, GUI doesn't work fast because it has to wait for this command line to execute, then it goes in there. So this is a no-no for them. They like this command line instead. And you may have to, over here in the GUI, you may have to open up this site, then go in there. There's a window pop up and there's options right here. you select this option, then another window opens up, then select another option. None of that is needed for this command line. In command line, you can just type in a few words and you're done. And it's fast. Okay? So that's the point of this command line. Standard interface from the early 1980s. This has been back in that time. You may also hear it called MS-DOS. Or may not. If you're old like me, then you may have heard something called MS-DOS. And that's what that DOS referred to as a command line type of stuff. Currently, command line interface is used for administrative tasks. So all the systems administrators, they do their stuff through the command line. You will do some of your stuff here, and I'll show you how. All GUI actions can be done through command line, like we talked about, and more functions available through command line than GUI. So that's another thing that if Microsoft did not put that on your window, you won't be able to do it through Microsoft Windows. But anything that you want to do to your computer can be done through the command line that you won't be able to do it through Microsoft Windows or even Apple Mac. Okay. And last is faster than GUI. Any questions? Are you all there? Can you hear me fine?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. How about this? Before I get into this Windows command line, somebody tell me what's the difference between a GUI versus command line?
GUI is the interface that the ordinary user can use very easily because there are some graphical structure that can be clicked, and by clicking it can show. So it is comparatively easier for the initial users, but the command line interface is something else. That is it doesn't take any click button, but it needs the command button. So we have to go to the command line interface. We have to type some things, and the computer will know what to do, and it will do the action accordingly.
Very nice answer. Good job, Chisti. All right. Let's see how this command line, and where is this command line? Well, everybody have this search icon on your taskbar. Familiarize yourself with this because this is going to be your best friend right here. Whenever you need a tool, you can type in the name of the tool in that search field, and it's going to show you those tools that are out there, and you select it and start using it. So what I'm going to do right now is click on this search, and it opens up this window. Your may look different, but you're going to have a place where you can type in something. I'm going to type in. What you're going to type in is CMD, not command line. You might still find command prompt, but in short, just type in CMD. And if you type that, you're going to see a tool that pop up right here. And what you're going to do, don't click on it. You right click on it, and it gives you a little bit better option. If I right click, it gives me this window, and it shows me that there's an option called Run as Administrator. That means if you run it as administrator, it will let you do more things than if you were just to double click and open it up. So always run it as administrator because we are going to do some stuff that other users may not be able to do. So if I click this, Windows is going to wait and block out and say, are you sure you want to do this? I'm going to say yes on that window. I know you couldn't see that window because I can't really present that. And then you're going to get something like this. All right. Let me do this side by side. So I'm going to bring this up here. And I have this command line on my right side. You can press Control Plus to make it larger. And then start typing in. These are the instructions on how I just did that. So if you needed to go back, just go back in your slides and there's instructions on how to open this command prompt up. We're going to do a few things. We're going to start with navigation. Navigation means going from one place to the other. You may have heard this term in like Navy or where they navigate, or cars going from one place to another. So whenever you hear the word navigation, it's like, how do you move back and forth into the folder scheme or something, or different pages and so forth. First word that you need to understand is called directory. This is used a lot. Directory is a list of data or files or even folders. So it's like a storage location where you can have files, you can have folders inside those, you can have more directories inside directories. So it's just a general place where you put stuff. Okay. And first thing we're going to do, I want you to look at this here in the command line. Right when I opened this up, it gave me this option right here. It's called C:, and then Windows, and then System 32. The C is the location of the main hard drive. So your computer's hard drive is labeled as C:. Why did the name is C? I don't know. But that's how it's been like that. Maybe it stands for computer, in short for computer. And the second thing right here, Windows, that means I am inside the Windows directory. And Systems 32, that means I am inside Windows and inside Systems 32. All right. So there's this C drive right here. This is C. There are directories here. One of them is called Windows. Okay. And inside Windows, there is another directory called Systems 32. Let's take a look at it from the File Explorer perspective, how that looks like. Here's the File Explorer. And I have this computer icon. This is where all your stuff is. So if you click on it, you're going to see some options here. Some shortcut options are up here. But the main one is right there. The root, the source is right here. You will notice that it also is called C:. That's that C:, right there. Okay. If I double click on this and look at these folders, notice this is that Windows folder right here. And if I double click on Windows, I'm going to also find something inside that called System 32. Let's look at it. So I double click on Windows. There's a lot of stuff in here. if I scroll down, scroll up and down, notice I have this System32 and I'm right here. Now I can double click on System32 and there might be some stuff in there. Let's see. There's a lot of stuff. So the first thing I want you to learn what to do here is, what if you wanted to see what's inside System32? All you have to do over here is type in the word dir and hit enter. What's happening right now, it's listing all the files and folders inside, and there's a lot. I have to scroll up and down a lot. All of this inside the Systems 32. Okay. What I'll do is I'm going to clear this up. So if I scroll down and go back up here, the next command that you need to know is called CLS. CLS short for clear. If I hit that, it cleared up the window and took me way back up. Okay. Now, that was a lot of files. Systems 32 had a lot of files. It's too much. I don't want to see that. I want to go back. I want to go back to, suppose I want to go back to my personal. Let's say I want to go here. I want to go to users. And I want to go to Stein. And inside Stein's, I want to go to, let's say, is there one for pictures? No. Documents? Nothing in there. Music? Okay, now I'm going to go to OneDrive. And inside OneDrive, I have something called pictures. And then I'm going to say wallpaper. And I want to go in here and take a look at these pictures that I have. How am I going to do that? Well, there's a command called cd. cd stands for change directory. So you can use this command cd ... to go back. Right now I'm inside System32. I want to go back to Windows and I want to go back to C first and then creep my way back into this later directory. So what I'll do is I'm going to type in here cd ... and hit enter. Notice what happened. I went one step back. I am now inside Windows, not inside System32. This is gone. I can do the same thing again and go back and get out of this Windows directory. So I can type in cd cd ... and took me back to this main directory. Okay. Any questions so far? Who can tell me what command do I need to use? So right now I'm right here. What command do I need to use to see what's inside this C drive?
dir for directory.
Correct. So if I go in here and say, I want to see what's in there, because I can't really go where I want to go if I don't know what's in there. So if I type in dir and hit enter, take a look at this. It gives me some information plus what's in there. It's a lot of gibberish, I know. But don't focus anywhere else. Even though it gives you some information, it's telling you this volume drive is called C in the operating system, serial number for your hard drive, really not needed. What you need to see is right here. And in here, you have date, a time when this was last updated, and it's telling you what it is. It's a directory. Directory meaning it's gonna hold either a file or folder. And you have something called eSupport. Another directory called program files. So let's see side by side how it looks like. If I open this up, there is that eSupport right here. And you have two directories. One is called program files, which is this one. And then you have program files times 86, which is this one. Then you have this users right there. And then you have this Windows folder, and that's right here. All your personal stuff automatically goes right there. Whenever you download something, you add some pictures somewhere on your desktop, nothing goes into these. Nothing. These are your program files. In fact, files that are in this folder and in this folder, it's very important they run your computer. If you go in here and delete something, your computer might crash. It may not work the way it's supposed to work. So never go inside and delete anything there. You can add stuff. I'll show you how to add stuff, but don't delete. Always go into this users and do your thing. There's some other information down here. It's telling you there's 5 of them, 5 directories. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And there's 0 files, meaning there's no file in here. It's all folders or directories, and also telling you how much space is free in this directory. The meaning it's got used, but that's how much free space still left. Any question? Okay. Now, how do I get into this users so I can see what files or folders in there? The way to do that is same word, cd, meaning change directory. You're telling change it for me. This time, instead of dot dot, you hit a space, one space, and you type in the word where you want to go. So I want to go to this users. So if I type in users, hit enter, it's going to take me there. But here's a shortcut for you. You can just type in a couple of unique letters like use. And if I hit the tab button on my keyboard, automatically computer is going to look at right here and say, is there any other folder starts with the letter U? And it's going to be like, nope, only this one starts with the letter U. What about the S? Right after S, there's nothing. So he's going to understand that you are trying to go here immediately. It's pretty smart. So I'm going to hit the tab button and watch how this gets filled out. Right there. I can even hit the letter U and hit the tab button. It's still going to give me that users. I can hit W because there's only one Windows with W. I hit the tab button. It's going to give me Windows. I could hit the letter E and hit the tab button. It's going to give me the folder name support, eSupport. But if I do P and hit the tab button, it's confused. It's like you got 2 of them. I don't know what you're talking about. That's not going to work. But if I do program, well, both of them says program. That's also going to get confused. It's not giving me anything. All right. You get the idea? I'm going to go into users. So I'm going to type in users, hit the tab button. Tab button makes sure that the spelling comes all the way correct. So always use that. And now if I hit enter, watch what happened. I am no longer just inside C, but I'm inside C and users. Okay. Raju, how would I see what stuff is inside this users folder?
But I don't get a question. Can you please tell me again?
Yeah. So how would I see what files or folders inside this users folder? What command do I need to type?
dir.
Good job. dir. Notice everything is lowercase. Now inside users, I got this dir and I got three things. I got this one right here. It's called Stein. I got a public. Now what is that? Let me go into users and see what this is. Anybody want to take a guess? Why do I see something else? Why not just Stein? That's this one. And public.
Hidden file?
It's a
Is this hidden
file.
file?
Yes, it's a hidden
The
file.
system? Okay.
Yes. There is something here that you and I don't see that is working its magic to open up these files for you or manage these files and stuff. One of the things that it does also that when you delete something, let's say if I delete this, it never really gets deleted. It's always in your hard drive somewhere. If you know how to get it, you can still get it back. So even when you sell your computer and you had your personal stuff and you're like, I deleted everything. Well, it didn't delete. There's some hidden secret stuff right there. And that's that with a dot. It's telling me that there is a folder there or file that's doing something. There's ways to open this up and see what's in it. I'm not going to go there right now. So just going to leave it at that. You will never use it in your work. All right. I need to go to the Stein directory. So now I'm going really fast now. I'm going to type in CD and ST and then hit the tab button. It corrected for me that it's lowercase Stein. Now if I hit enter and I am inside the Stein folder and I wanted to see what's in there, let me just go ahead and clear everything. So I'm going to say CLS clear. It takes me way up there and I'm going to say dir. Let me show me what's there. In here now it's showing me all of this stuff, including there's two hidden stuff right there. But I know my desktop is inside this OneDrive, so I'm going to go to this OneDrive. So I'm going to type in cd, meaning change directory, space, one, and then hit tab, gives me that OneDrive. I hit enter, and I am inside OneDrive right now. Want to see what's in there? dir. I did that, and I see there's that desktop. I want to go to desktop. So I keep doing that. CD, desk, tab, there you go, desktop. Enter. I'm inside desktop. Annie, how would I clear this screen? Because I got a lot of
CD,
stuff.
CLS.
CLS. So if I type in CLS, it's going to clear everything and take me way up there. And now in this desktop, I'm going to type in dir to see what's in here. And I see there's a lot of stuff right here. What did I want to open? So Stein, OneDrive, desktop. Oh, I wanted to go to pictures. goodness, I want it to be in this folder, but I went inside the desktop folder. How do I go back? Sangeeta. How about Shanjita? Maybe she's.
CD
CD dot dot.
All right, both of you are correct. CD space or CD dot dot node space needed. And that takes me back to OneDrive. I went one step back. And then if I hit directory and I say, I don't need to be on desktop, I need to be on something called pictures. So there's that pictures right here. Therefore, I'm going to type in CD space PIC, hit the tab button, it corrects it for me. Enter. I am inside pictures right now. If I want to see what's in here, dir shows me there's stuff, there's more directories. Look at this. It's a directory, meaning another folder, another folder, another folder, another folder, and there's that folder that I want to go to is called wallpaper. So if I type in cd wallpaper, I'm inside wallpaper, hit a dir. Notice now I have these hidden directories, but it doesn't say directory anymore. That's because these are not directories, these are actually files. Here's a file name. This is how much memory used. Here's another file name called Maldive wallpaper. Let me zoom out so it looks a little bit nicer. And there's another one, Night Flight, excuse me. There's that Night Flight. Another file right there. Any question about this command cd? Yeah, go to wallpaper. And these are the file names that you're going to see listed up here. All right, so that's one operation that you need to learn how to do. The other thing, in your keyboard, you're going to notice this. There's 4 buttons with these arrows. Up arrow, down arrow, left arrow, right arrow. You can use this up and down arrow in here. If I use the up arrow, it's going to give me the previous command that I just used, which is dir. If you click on the up arrow again, it's going to give me the previous one, the one on top of that. And I can keep on doing this and keep going higher and higher and say, I don't want to type it. I just want to use what I did before. So you can use that too. I'm just going to clear this up right now and take you to the next set of operations. What if I wanted to see a file? Well, we have a file that's, we saved it in desktop, I think, automation lessons. And then we have this website. So let's go back and then come back in here in this automation lessons folder and view one of these file and see how that looks like. Okay. So what I have to do is do cd ... go back and OneDrive, look at the OneDrive and see I got desktop right there, so I can go in here to CD desktop. I'm inside desktop. And if I do a dir, it shows me I got this automation lessons folder. So I'm going to go in here, CD automation lessons. I'm inside automation lessons. If I do a dir, looks like I do have this called site.html, or I have this node.txt. So if I do this site.html and I want to just open this up, I can just type in site.html and hit enter, and it opens up right here for me. Okay. Instead of double clicking on the file, I can just type in the file name. It will open up for me. Any question on this? I can also open up this notepad called notes.txt. I don't know what I wrote in it. This time tab button doesn't work. Notes.txt. And it doesn't have a notepad, anything in it. So it's giving me an error. But let's take a look at this image. We're going to create a notepad ourselves and then open it up. Volkswagen wagon.jpg, and this opened up in another screen for me. So it opened up the file and showing me what's there. All right. What if I wanted to create a file? You can do that. Let me clean this up. ELS. And I want to be in automation lessons. So in here, I can call a code called echo, and it's in here, by the way. So use this PowerPoint that I have. I'm going to go back and forth a little bit. So some of these I'll show you in a second. But right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this command called echo text equals text with the greater than symbol file name.txt. So I'm going to type echo text greater than symbol file name, and you can put any name you want. So let's say test file .txt, and if I hit enter, really nothing shows up that it did anything. But take a look at this. Remember, I was inside this automation lessons folder, which is right here. If I double click on automation lessons, now I have a file called test file. Right there. Okay. It got created. Any question? Excuse me. But you're like, well, you didn't type anything in it. Well, you can type in it if you do this.
Okay, Stan.
Yeah, go ahead.
So you wrote the command echo text, then testfile.txt. Does it mean that the file name should be testfile.txt?
No, you can name it anything you want.
So, okay, so if I write rather than testfile.txt, say stan.txt, will it appear like that, stan.txt?
Correct. It will. Let me do this. I don't like this whole huge path right there. It's going way too far, and when I type it, I can't really show you nice and clean. So I'm going to create a folder somewhere way down here in the root directory, and then do my work over there instead of having to go through all of this and then do the stuff. So what I'm going to do is here, I'm going to go back to the root directory, and I'm going to say cd dot dot cd dot dot, keep going back, cd dot dot, and I am in the root directory. Now remember, root directory has those program files, this stuff right here. So what if I wanted to create a folder here? Well, on the UI, you would right click and then click on new and click on folder, and that's going to give you a folder. And then you type in your name, the name of the folder. Let's say practice folder. You hit enter, and there you have this practice folder. And to delete that, you would right click on that folder and then look for the delete button, which is this X maybe in this Windows 7, and then do it, or this trash icon, or more options. Now it gives me this delete option here, delete. And I can delete that and it's gone. Well, this is what you would do here. You would say, in short, mkdir. MK is short for make. The command you're looking for is mk. Stands for make. We're going to make a directory. So mkdir is going to make directory. All right. Therefore, if I go in here and I type in mkdir, and I have to give it a name. So if I say space and say practice folder and hit enter, look what happened. It gave me a directory right here. What if I wanted to delete it? Well, you can do that. For that, you would need the command called rm. rm is short for remove. So rmdir is like remove directory. So if I go in here and say rmdir, and I have to name it what directory I want to remove, and if I type in PRAC and hit the tab button, it fills in the rest of the name for me because it can only see that in there. Now if I hit enter, keep your eyes right here, you will see that folder is going to be gone. There we go. It's gone. Any question? Okay. So we're going to get back in that, and I want this practice folder. So I'm going to hit the up arrow shortcut and go to mkdir practice folder and hit enter because I'll need that practice folder. There's that. If I want anything in that practice folder, I have to be inside that practice folder first. So question goes to Raju. How do I get inside practice folder directory?
It's already created.
Already created. What will be CD?
CD space practice folder.
Yes, CD space practice folder. Now I'm
We
inside.
are under practice folder. Yeah.
Correct. Always keep your eyes on these wordings. That way you know where you are. Um, and 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 if you don't pay attention where you are on this right here, you may be creating and deleting files somewhere that you shouldn't, and that could break your computer. So that's why it's so important that you make sure that you are inside the right folder before you actually start doing stuff. In practice folder, if I delete anything, it won't hurt me. If I type in dir, there's nothing there. It tells me there's 0 files in here. Okay, 0 files. And there's free space, nothing is being used. Let me clear this up and then let's create something. I'm still inside practice folder. Okay. Who remembers how do I create a text file here?
This is echo command.
Echo command, correct. Echo
Then
space.
the text file or folder name. Text folder.
Put an icon here. What icon do you need? The greater than symbol.
Yeah.
Give it a file name. Give me a name, Chisti.
Chisti.txt.
Chisti.txt. Okay. If I hit enter, before I hit enter, let me go into this practice folder and watch here. Keep your eyes on the left side. Watch this. I hit enter. And I have
It
this.
is over there.
Now I have this file. If I open this file, there's nothing in it. It just says echo is on. All right. Now I can delete this file. The way to delete, the word is del. In short, delete. And you have to give it a name, what you want to delete. So suppose I want to delete that file, I can go in here and say del and space Chisti CHI, but I can hit the tab button. It knows automatically there's only one file with that Chisti name. You don't have to type the whole thing. And now if I hit delete, if I hit enter, that file is going to be gone. With me so far? What if I want to write something immediately after I create that file called Chisti? In that case, you type in echo. Instead of single greater than symbol, you put double. And then you type in the name of the file you want to create, chisti.txt. And if I hit enter now, it's waiting for me to pop. Doesn't seem like it's giving me that option. Let me see. Hello world. Hello world. Enter is not recognized. Sorry, that command is not working on this. Sometimes it works in some other command lines, but this one is just creating Chisti and it doesn't have anything in it. Okay, but there's another command that I'll show you how to use that to type something in there. Okay, the other command is just the word type. You type in the word type and then whatever the file name is, which is Chisti, and I hit the tab button, it gives me all that. And now it's gonna give me an option, I hope. Sometimes they're pretty finicky. Oh, I think I made a mistake. That's not gonna do that. The command is echo text, and then file name Chisti. Hit enter. Why is it not working? Sometimes these are the pain of technology. They may have changed something. Hello, not recognized. I'm going to do a Google search real quick to find solutions for this, so bear with me. Watch this, because this could be a good learning experience too. How to type in command prompt on a text file. There are a couple of videos, but display a text file type. Type and file name. Okay. This is telling me that you do type and then the file name, and there's a path right there. We don't need the path. We got it right here. So what if I say type and say Chisti, hit enter? Okay. No, that just displays it. It's displaying echo is on. This command worked last time when I had the session. So guys, let's take about 5 minutes. This will give me the time to research this out. So if you need to step away or something, I'll have the solution for you in 5 minutes. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Sorry about that. Actually, I was making a mistake. And it's probably could be because I am sick this weekend. I don't know if you hear it from my voice, but yeah, I had to see a doctor yesterday, and I really need to be just lying down all day today. But I didn't want to skip that. So, and my probably just brain is kind of pretty slow today right now. But anyway, yeah. Let's go ahead and delete this. I'll show you how to do that. I'm going to delete this. DEL, Chisti, tab, delete, and that file is gone. The way you write something in it is when you use this echo command, echo will create it for you. But if you want to have something in that, then you have to write up what you want after a space. So let's say I write, my name is Chisti, and then I hit the greater than symbol and then say where I want to store it. What's going to be the file name? We call it chisti.txt. And I hit enter. Now I have this file txt, including the words that I typed in. My name is Chisti. Okay. But I could just say echo and not write anything in it. Stein.txt. That's totally fine too. It's going to show up with just this thing on it. Echo is on. And if I wanted to go back and write something there, I could still say echo. I didn't write anything, so I could say echo. My name is Stein. And with the greater than symbol, I say go ahead and write it inside stein.txt. Hit enter. If I open that up, and now I have my name is Stein in there. What if I didn't want to open up this file, but I wanted to see everything in here? Meaning, I don't want to use this GUI. I just want to use this command line. Well, I can do that. The word is type. If we use the word type and then put the file name in here, what's going to do is whatever is inside that file, it's going to show up in here in command line. So if I said type and say Chisti and hit enter, notice right after that command, type chisti.txt, it's printed what's inside that file called, and then that's my name is Chisti. If I clear this and I want to see what's inside Stein, I can say type Stein, hit the tab button, enter, and it shows me whatever the text was inside that stein.txt. All right, there's one more command and we're done here that you need to know for this homework purposes. But the most important stuff was that creating a file, creating a directory. Creating a directory is most. Deleting a directory or how to go to the directory and come out, you're going to see that in the automation classes during Selenium days. One other thing I'm going to throw you off with is if I go back to the cd ... and do dir, notice that practice folder is there, and I have already done my practice. I want to delete it. So who can tell me, how do I delete this folder? How do I delete this folder called practice folder?
RM.
RM.
You have
And
to
then
read
the file
dir
name.
RMDIR. Remove
and file
directory.
name. Space file name.
file name is practice, and I hit the tab button, it gives me that practice. So RM for remove, dir for directory, remove directory, and practice folder. If I hit enter, what does it say? The directory is not empty. Did it delete the directory?
We have to check again by checking the dir command.
If I still do dir, notice I can still see what's there, which is that practice directory did not get deleted.
Okay.
So what happens is you won't be able to delete the practice directory if it has something in it. Okay? It's not going to let you delete it with this command, rmdir, and say practice directory. It won't let you delete. It's like a security feature. What if you accidentally delete something that you're not supposed to? That's why they had it blocked saying you can't. If it's empty, go ahead. Who cares? There's nothing there. But we got some stuff saved there, so let's make it a little bit more complex. But you're 100% sure you want to delete that. The command you have to add to it, still the same, rmdir. This time you have to put a space and say /s. If you specify /s and then you give it a file name, practice folder, now it's going to force delete everything, including the folder and the files that's there. So if I hit the enter button now, it's asking me one more time, are you sure? I hit the Y letter, maybe capital, but I think lowercase will work as well. Hit the enter button. Notice it's gone from the
So
left side.
what stands for S?
I don't know. And I can't even find some of these. Why did they use letter S, not something else, like letter D or delete?
So I have one question regarding this issue.
Mhm.
So how can I remember when I should uh, write S or F or T or whatever that alphabet?
There is a chart, and I think I may have posted one in here. There's a cheat sheet. If you go to that particular class, there's under the notes, there's this cheat sheet right here. If you open this up, it's called Linux command references. So a lot of this and way much more than what I just showed you is listed right here. For example, we did this mkdir, and there's that create a directory. rm, and then file name, you can remove the file or delete the file, or del. Now, some of them are different from what you're going to see here because this is more like Linux operating system base, but command line is Windows. So some may or may not work, but in this command line, this is going to work what I showed you. And my notes are here, so you don't have to learn anything more for my class because I'm only going to show you what you need to do for automation. So in this PowerPoint slide, I have all of these commands in here that you need for this homework, which is right here. Okay. It shows you, and it tells you what that is and how you're going to write the command, like rm directory and then folder name. So you do that. Also, I'll post this video. Guys, our videos are going to be here from now on. If you go all the way down, you're going to notice there is a menu called videos. If you expand that, you're going to see our class called Winter 2022. If you click on that, I will list all our videos in here. I just did one to see how it looks like, but today I'm going to sit and put everything that we have done in here in the order that we have done it. Like the first one is first one, the second one, second one, and so forth. Now, if you want to see, like this was for HTML class that we did. If you wanted to see from previous sessions, then it's going to be in here. You can just go in here and say command line, and there is a video there. This I've done with my other students. You might find more information here than the ones I'm doing right now. Back in the time, I used to demo a lot of real world stuff right here. Now I don't, because sometimes I lose people if I put too much stuff. So I kind of modified a little bit. Right now, I just kind of focus you on what you need to know, and then slowly expand your scope down the road. I don't want to expose you to too much, and then you panic. But these videos may have a lot of stuff. You may have to fast forward to the stuff you want to see, and always do that. Okay. All right. One other fun thing that I want to show you is this color thing. What I can do is I can type color with a / question mark, and it will tell me what are some of the color options I got. This is for background. Right now the background is black, and these options are for typing the letters, the font color that you would like. So what if I wanted the background to be, let's say, green, and I wanted my writing to be red? Then what I can do is I can go in here, hit an enter to exit out of this, and I type in color equals 2, because color is 2, and what was that, red? C, 2C. If I take this 2 and C from here, I would type in color and type in the number 2 and the C, letter C, and hit enter. It becomes green, and the font becomes red, which is horrible. So let me get back to the black, and maybe I want to do the letters to be what do I want to do? Black and
Then
black
it will
and
be better if you use blue and yellow.
okay. Color, I want to do blue for the background, which is number 1, and yellow. This is light yellow. Actually, I want to see if I can still use this number 6. First one is for the background, and second letter is for the text. That's what I'm thinking. So number 6, hit enter. Yep. Yeah, it's nice. I like that. The yellow doesn't look yellow much. Kind of looks like white. But hey, it works. So that's one way you can change your colors and everything. If you exit out, come back in, it's going to fix it from how you had it before. So let's see. If I open up CMD and getting this here, then it went back to its original settings. And then you can change it from here if you want to. All right. That's it for command line or CMD. Any questions before we move on to a few other things and be done for the day?
Or the Linux or Unix codes are similar to the actually DOS commands?
There is very similarity there, but some things are different.
Okay.
And you do need to later down the road learn this on your own to expand your knowledge when you start working. For example, this might or may not work here. Watch this. I could do dir, and I can see all the stuff that's inside Stein folder. But Linux dir is not going to work. You have to say ls or list something. I don't know. I hit ls and it doesn't understand it. It says ls is not recognized as an internal command. So that's not going to work. So that's a problem. Now, what is Linux? And some of you are asking, and I should explain this before I go any farther. And I know I didn't do this in my previous students. I was thinking everybody knows it and don't really have to talk about it. Let's do some basics right here. I don't have any PowerPoint set up, but I just want to explain this to you. So you have a laptop, all right? What is this Linux thing? Let's do this. So everybody got a laptop and you're using your laptop, which is a machine. It's a hard machine, but you also have something soft that's working inside, which is a software. So you have all your stuff, which is keyboard and your transistors, and your CPU. All of this is like you can touch it. It's really hard stuff, but there's also a set of code. You got a set of code stored inside the memory of your computer, and it tells you what to show. Okay. The most important thing that's there is called operating system. Operating system. It's called operating system is because that's how your computer is going to operate. When you turn on your computer, it's your operating system takes control of your computer and tells you what to do, how to open, what screen to show. Do you need to have a password to get in, log in, or how your computer looks like? Everything is that operating system. Okay? Now, there are different kinds of operating system out there. In fact, there's 3 different kinds that are most popular. And first one is what you're using. Number 1 is Windows. Windows operating system. Or in short, it's going to be called OS. Okay? Windows operating system. And then you have another kind of operating system. It's called Mac. If you have an Apple computer, you have a Mac operating system. All right? And then there's another one called Linux operating system. Now, Linux is not called an operating system. Linux is called a Linux kernel. All right? So if you say that word, it's going to be very smart in front of your developers. Because if you say, a lot of people say it, they call it Linux operating system. And I've seen the developers, they look at it like, oh, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. The Linux kernel is that code. But on that Linux kernel code, there's a bunch of operating systems out there. So there could be an operating system, multiple. There's actually over, I don't know, maybe 30 something or something. And these operating systems have their name on that Linux kernel, meaning unit of code. And as one of them is called Red Hat. These are very popular. The other is called CentOS 7. The other one is Ubuntu. You may have heard of this, some of you. Ubuntu. I see in Bangladesh a lot of people, they have this Ubuntu. I was trying to play around with this Ubuntu. You're probably asking, why is there so many? Why do we need all this? Well, this costs money. This costs money, but this is free. Linux is free. And because Linux is free, it's used by a lot of people, and a lot of people in the development side that don't like Windows and Mac, and it's customizable, meaning you can make it look like the way you want it. Windows, you don't have a choice. You got this taskbar right here. You're like, you like it or don't like it, you got to deal with it. Mac, you got some other taskbar stuff, and you got a lot of stuff. You got these tiles right here. Like it or hate it, you have to use it. But Linux, you can design your own operating system the way it should look like and stuff like that. You have much more control. Now, it's free. It doesn't mean it's bad. It's actually, there's more coders are live coding this Linux, and they're adding to this Linux operating system more and more. It's hacker proof because hackers are only trying to hack Windows. Why? Because most people use Windows. Most people that are not tech savvy, they're using Windows and using Mac. So the hacker's biggest target is Windows because number of population using Windows is much higher than number of population in Mac. So they're thinking, let me just go with Windows users and I'm going to have my hacking code because I'll hit more people with this Windows than Mac. So if you have a MacBook, your chances of getting hacked is lower. And forget about Linux because there's only very few people that are tech savvy. They download Linux and they use Linux on their Windows. So these hackers are not trying to hack this at all. This is the last thing on their mind. That means if you have Linux on your device, you are least likely to be hacked. Your information is not going to be stolen. Question? Was that a little too much? Any comments?
So is Linux user friendly like Windows or Mac?
Yes. It's also user friendly. For example, these CentOS, Ubuntu, these are very useful. A
So,
laptop may cost, let's say, $200. That laptop will, so let's say laptop costs $200. When Microsoft adds an operating system, it's going to cost another $200. You will notice that your computers don't come with Microsoft Office. It's called MS Office, meaning you have the Word doc, you have the Excel and stuff. That's another $100. You can buy it separately, but they don't come with it right now. So it's like $200, $400 for this laptop. Guess what? In Africa, in those poor countries, they don't get Microsoft Windows and save that money. So instead, they pay this $200 for that same laptop you got, and they install this Linux operating system on it and start using and do same thing that you are doing. A little bit looks a differently, but they can still operate for a lot cheaper. Go ahead, Chisney.
okay, so all the features in Linux kernel are free, or some features we have to pay?
Everything is free.
Like if I used to use, if I need to use Red Hat or something like that in professional level.
Free.
So will it be free also?
Yes, all free.
That's great.
Yeah, that's very good. You're welcome to explore this in more, but this is as much as I'm going to tell you about Linux because we're only going to be using Windows it takes a little bit of a skill set to download and use Linux. Therefore, I don't go that direction. I'll just use whatever you got in Windows. If you have a Mac, go ahead and change that to Windows laptop because I don't have stuff set up for Mac. This program is not suitable for Mac. You have to do different kind of configurations for Mac, which I don't provide, and it gets more complicated. So um, stick to Windows and keep things simple for yourself. Now, all of these have command prompt. So CLI for Windows, you got the CLI for Mac. You also have a CLI for Linux. All right, you got it for that. Now, some code might be different, like you saw that ls did not work in Windows and it works in Linux operating system. So you may have to switch a little bit here and there, not a whole lot. So, and don't worry about it. You don't have to memorize and know all of this. You can always Google search it and then find it. So don't think you need to be like you saw me today while I was teaching you. I forgot how to add the text in it. No big deal. Because you don't have to memorize it, but you do need to know how do I quickly find that information that I just forgot and be able to use it. So that's the skill set you must have. So make sure you have that. Okay, I'm going to show you one more, actually two more command prompt where these are a little more powerful. And I'm going to save the best for last. The most powerful is going to be the last one that I show you. So let me take you to another thing that Windows has. They call it PowerShell. Right? And that is way down. You have to search for it in your search window. Open that up and type in PowerShell. And you will have this Windows PowerShell. Right click on it, run as administrator, and you will have this ask you permission. You say yes, and you get something like this. What's the difference? Well, it is blue, but that's really not any big difference on that whatsoever. But PowerShell gives you control over a lot more systems in your computer than the Windows command will let you do. And in fact, let's see if ls works here. ls. Look at this. The Linux command works here. That's a lot of files in there. Let it finish. You can escape, quit. Right. It finished up. I want to clear it, CLS. And go back cd ... cd ... and I can do dir. It works. I can also type in ls. That works too. Question? Windows probably did this PowerShell because they thought that a lot of people are Linux proficient, and let me marry them together. Let me bring in some Linux code here and Windows code together, have PowerShell so everything can be done through one source. And they're trying to take over the market, but still Linux is it's a different world. So you are able to do everything that you did in command line CLI to this PowerShell. And I'm not going to show you anything else. So other than just ls, I use the word, the command ls a lot in my workplace. And in some areas, some command lines may not use dir. So try both, know both. In case one doesn't work, use the other one. All right? Any
There are
questions about?
multiple options for PowerShell. Which options to select?
There may be some difference differences you can search up. Like if you go in, online is full of stuff. So if you can, let's say I go here and type in PowerShell command cheat sheet, and I look for it, I can go to image. Sometimes you can see it in the image.
Mhm.
And you're like, okay, I think I might like this one. You click on it and you're like, not so good one. Can't even see it. But if I go to all, let me look at the first one. Yeah. You have some information here. Sets the current working location to a specific location. That's that CD right there. You have the CD CHDIR. Copy. A lot of these things I didn't show you, but you're not gonna need. We've done the echo. I guess this works too. Right. Instead of the word echo. So welcome to explore this and learn more if you need to, if you have the time to. But whatever I'm showing you here is all you're going to need. All right. One last thing that is going to be very, very useful in your work. But before I go there, you need to understand this concept called version. What is a version? Now, you may have seen something like this. You may have seen or heard this word called a 2.0. And sometimes they use this word in movies. They're like, oh, right now he's a 2.0 version. This became like an American slang. This 2.0 became American slang. What is that? Well, there was a 1.0 version before, and it all came from this USB. This USB port came in, and it was like file transfer was so easy. You were able to have little thumb drive plugged in instead of the floppy big disk. I don't know if you ever remember. That was kind of looked like that, which was very slow in the computer days. So this USB one came in, and then things were so much faster. You can transfer file and back and forth so much easier. And then they came up with 2.0, which is this one, and that was like twice the speed, or double, or even multiple times the speed. Oh, actually, look at this. Look at the speed right here. It was like 1.5 megabits per second. With the 2.0, it was a major jump. It was not just double, it was like 480 megabits per second. So it was like a way advanced version of that. These are called versions. Versions are like same thing but different type, much more improved maybe. You can use it for that particular purpose, but in software, we have something called version. And each version has a number, just like this USB 2.0, USB 1.0. By the way, you might see this blue color right here. If you see that color, that's like 3.0. It's even faster. And if you see red, it's like the fastest thing out there right now. Let's go deeper into this version because I'm going to be using this concept when you go to um, the actual code. Here's this information is going to kind of give you a broader idea of how code is written. So what you have is you have something called source code inside your company. When you get hired, they have something called source code. And this source code, they name it master, kind of like this karate, um, jujitsu. you want to do karate classes and you got a master in your karate class who is a teacher who teaches you. So it kind of like that. It's like the master. That means this is where the main code is. And that master code is stored somewhere in your company's server. Okay. And that code gives you this priceline.com. You are able to go in there and see this Priceline. Okay. From that master code. Now, code might be located in this folder called C, project, booking, and then hotel, but you won't see this project right here. Why is that? You won't see this C right here either. You don't even have to type this on that like that. That's because they took that and crossed it off and they bought a domain for that and they call it priceline.com. So all of that address where that file is located for that hotels to show up has been masked. It's like you put a mask on top of that face, and the mask is priceline.com. Okay. Now you have several programmers, several developers. They're writing their code. They don't even have to be in their building. They don't have to be in the same country. They could be in a different country. So this first guy right here, what he's going to do is he's going to copy this code, master code, into his laptop, right? And then he's going to make some changes. He's going to put a new button right here, suppose. And then he's going to upload that code into this server. Well, his code versus what's in here is now different. With me so far? He copied master
Yes.
and he made changes to the master to add a button. All right. So this is master. Now he has a separate from master. He has a button in there. Which code has more code? Does this have more code, master, or does his code have more? Question to anybody.
Version A.
Version
This
A, correct. Because he copied this whole thing, so he still has everything that's there, but he added more code so that another button shows up right here. So now his version A, I'm just calling it A, but there's a number for this version, a weird random number, has more code than the master code. More code than the master code. So what's going to happen? He's going to upload his code. After he's done, he tested it, everything works fine. He uploads his code, and that master gets replaced with his code of version A. And now this master still gonna have that name called master, but it's gonna have his extra 3 lines of code that adds the button in it. With me so far?
Yep.
Okay. So what happens to this guy? He is in, he's in America. This guy is in India. So this American guy, he also pulls the code. Now he got the version A, all the changes that this guy made from Japan. And now he has this button code as well, but his job was to add a picture. He added a picture. Now his computer, the version of the code that he has is called version B or a different version. He uploads that into the master. Master gets that his 3 lines of code. India, this guy pulls in. He adds another feature, version 3, uploads the code back into the server, and have all these features. With me so far? Why do they do it that way? Well, what if this guy did something really bad and it broke something? Having his code in this version, we have control to say, hey, we don't want his changes. And the computer is going to ask, where is his change? And we can say version B. And we can take his version B out without affecting his code and his code. If we didn't have versions or specific changes attached to this person, his changes are attached to him with this version, and his changes are attached, we wouldn't have the control to delete or take off his changes on the fly. It will be very complicated. But knowing that John made a mistake and what version did he use? It was version B. With a simple command line code, you can easily get rid of his code without affecting this guy. Question?
So the master code cannot be modified or edited, but the other codes can be edited, is it? Like deleted, edited, or anything?
Well, good question. So this is master code, right? Lines and lines and lines of master code. Master code is nothing but versions. Version A, B, C, D, E, F. Everybody contributed their code right here. There's that B, this guy. So over the years, everybody has been writing and there's like versions and versions of code. So you are actually changing the master. Master has been created by these guys and continuously being updated by these guys. Make sense? And at any given point, you could say, I don't want this B code right here from this master. And you can just delete that with one simple command in the command line, which I will show you later in another class. All right. Any other questions? This is your time to ask those curiosity questions, how things work. So suppose you got this situation here, another software, you got another versions, and another team might be working from another place. There is no limit to how many. The thing that's managing this whole thing of version is called version control, a version control tool. You can't touch it, feel it. It's a tool, it's a software. You don't even get to see the software. It's gonna be in your computer somewhere. It works. You can see it working, but you can see it working on your command line only. But you can't see where it is or what it does. There is no UI attached to this. Okay. So there are main different kinds of version control tools out there. One is called Git, and Git is the most popular version control tool. Again, version control gives you the power to delete, add anything you want to do, and separate everybody's work into separate little versions. The other one is called CVS, or Concurrent Versions System. There's another called Subversion, and another one called Mercurial. It's good to know these names. If you just know the name, and if somebody asks you, are you familiar with this? Then you can say, yeah, I've heard of it. But you're going to say, what I use in my company is called Git. Give me 1 minute, I need to plug the battery in. It's about to die. All right, with me so far? Okay. So what we're gonna study Git, and this is the most popular one, and I'll show you how to use that. So let's see. You have to submit. Oh, they do have UIs on some of them. Okay, this is called Source Tree. It's another Git UI. Tortoise Git extensions. These are some other companies that are trying to come up with some UIs that you can control, that you can use to control your code. But I don't think it's so easy either. It's just another software to learn. But even though it's made it kind of a UI friendly, but it's not easy. I find myself that if you learn Git, you only have to learn a few commands, and it's much simpler. So I'm going to download Git on your device. Here's what you do. Excuse me one second. Hey guys, my health is not allowing me to speak any farther. I think I'm about to lose my voice. So I'm going to keep the class right here. I'm going to end it right here. You don't have to do this right now. I'll come back tomorrow morning. I'll show you what you have to do. Here's your homework. I'm going to do the homework for you right now. And you can submit this online. So watch me. But you do have to practice yourself. But I don't want you to waste your time and panic. Oh, I don't know how to do this. There's the homework. First says open command prompt window and maximize the screen. Go to the search, type in CMD, and you get your command prompt. Just use this. Don't have to do PowerShell. And go in here. And then number 2, execute the following task, which is this right here. Submit the screenshot into Google Classroom. That's your homework. So let's do first step. It says clear the screen. So you're going to type in CLS. Right. And then you're going to go navigate to root directory C drive. That means you're going to have to go back to that C. So you type in cd ... one more cd ... and then you are in the root directory. And it says create directory called automation lessons. So that's mkdir. dir, and you name it automation lessons. Okay. Try not to give any space. I did have space in there. I think it works, but sometimes it might complain. Automation lessons. If you want to check it, it says go to the automation lessons directory. So now I have to go in there. I created it. To go in there, I'm going to do cd and then type automation, hit a tab, it takes me, and I'm inside automation lessons. Number 5, create a directory called notes. So in here, I'm going to say mkdir notes. Go into the notes directory. So I'm going to go inside that notes directory. I'm going to say cd notes. I'm inside notes. How do I know that? Because I see this notes right here. Then it says create a text file named my notes and save the following information. So in my notes, I'm also going to write all of that. So the command is echo, echo, meaning you're going to write stuff in here. And then you write this whole thing. I am going to be a test automation. You can't see. Automation engineer. And you want to finish that off with a greater than symbol and give it a file name called my notes. My notes.txt. Hit enter. You have created a file. Next one says display everything inside notes directory. So I'm already in notes. To display, I have to type in dir. There it displays. And in here, I have this file called my notes. Notice. Display information inside my notes text file. So now it's asking what's inside the text file, display it. Remember that code type, T-Y-P-E. If you say type, it's going to type it here for you. I type in my notes and then hit enter. And there you go. I am going to be a test automation engineer. And then it says delete my notes file. So you del delete it. My notes. It got deleted. Next command, delete notes directory. Well, you can't delete notes directory while you are in here. You have to back out. So you have to do cd ... and then now say remove rm directory and then say notes. You just deleted that. For practice, you can type in dir to see it, but for homework submission, I just want to see this code. Follow like. And then it says delete automation lessons directory. That means delete that one too. But you are in it. You can't delete it while you're in it. So come back out first. So type in cd ... go to your roots directory, and then now say rm dir automation, and then hit the tab, which gives you that. Hit the delete, and that's it. That's your homework. Now, how are you going to submit it? Well, you minimize your screen so all of this can be seen. You look for something in your computer called snipping tool, SNIPPING, snipping tool. Also, put this on your taskbar, pin it in your taskbar because it's going to be useful so much. I use this every day. So in this snipping tool, opens up like this. You hit this new tab and your cursor becomes like a plus sign, and you take that plus sign and you highlight it. I think you can't really see it in my meeting presentation, but what I just did, I copied that much area and I have it in the snipping tool. I would save it now. Hit the save button. And on desktop, let's say, automation lessons folder, I'm going to save it as command line homework. And then hit the save button. Now it's already there. I go to my classroom. Go to the class. No, I did not open it up. It's going to open up right here for you. I'll do it right after the class. You go here, and then you look at the assignment. I'm in the teacher, so it's not going to show me that way. But you have this right side area where you have my work. Just like you attach the other files, attach that file. You browse and attach it. And that's it. Yours is probably going to look something like this, where it says upload, and it's going to give you a browse option. And in that browse option, you go to desktop, go to automation lessons, and there's that command line CLI homework. You click on that and hit open, and that's going to attach it. And then you turn in your assignment that way. Any questions? All right. Thank you so much for attending. I will see you tomorrow at 9 o'clock. Have a good day.
You too. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.